today we're going to be looking at, are these infections the myths of urban legend, or are they the secret sauce, the holy grail behind everything that's going wrong with your health? So, what I'm going to do right now is, without further ado, all right, we're inviting our guest, microbiome nerd himself, Mr. Brian Kaufman, who's the Vice President of Prolean Health and Biologicals, is here today. Welcome, Brian, micro nerd number one that I know.
Hey, thank you, Maggie, so much for coming on. Yep, I am the microbiome nerd, and it didn't start that way, right? So 2,000 years ago, Socrates said all disease begins in the gut. And, maybe that's true. And maybe we haven't come that far since then, but I believe that life begins in the gut. And it started a long time ago when I was in the Army as a medic. And the underlying cause for every person I ever treated, right, there was some kind of digestive underlying cause. From there, I worked as a nurse, and like most people that graduate college, I thought I was going to get drafted right into my favorite job in the world. I didn't. And you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I started off in med surg and eventually found myself in GI, where I found all these different disease states, all these problems that these people had, and they were sharing all this information with me. And there was one underlying thing. There was an underlying cause that was not being attacked. Right? I was just masking symptoms. I wasn't actually helping a lot of people until I came in contact with a company that had developed an antibody from a bovine source that had the acquired immunity, the ability to eradicate a lot of the underlying cause for many of my patients' problems, like diarrhea, bloating, flatulence, abdominal pain, those things that make you never want to travel or go to your kids' baseball games and stuff. I saw people getting their life back, and that's how I became the microbiome.
Hi, I'm Maggie, UMD, and I'm a functional and holistic medicine physician and the creator of the Transform and Transform Protocol. If you're interested in learning what are the root causes of all chronic disease, go ahead and click the link in the description where I have a power-packed 30-minute training that goes over what are the 5 pillars of Transform. Go ahead, click the link, and I'll see you in that training. We have a mixture of different people in the audience. One of the things in common here is that they're all here watching, and they know that infection is an underlying root cause of many of the things we're talking about, whether it's allergies, IBS, like you're talking about, cancer, autoimmune diseases, you name it, right? And one of the most common things that we hear that we have all experienced, and I am a doctor, I am an MD, is that medical doctors do not believe that these chronic infections in the gut are real. Number one, urgent myth number one, these infections aren't real. They were conjured up somehow. And so I would love to have you and I talk about how, number one, are infections real? And number two, how do they contribute to disease? Brian, take it away.
Okay, first question is a softball. Yes, they're real. Okay. Second question, they contribute to every aspect in every body system, everything that's going on with us, right? Everything starts here in the gut. Now, it may manifest as some type of skin problem, inflammation, or maybe achy bones or diarrhea or bloating, but it starts in the gut with an inflammatory reaction that's brought on by an endotoxin or a specific fungal or bacteria that causes inflammation. It just happens to manifest itself in that skin problem or that diarrhea or bloating, but it all starts here. And it's a cycle of events. For many of you guys that are on right now, you probably think to yourself, I've tried everything and I feel like I'm just a hamster on a hamster wheel. I'm huffing and I'm puffing, and you know what? I'm not going anywhere. Because the missing piece of the puzzle was removing that underlying cause. If you look up into middle top left of your screen right now, it says altered gut microbiota, right? All this is a top layer of your gut. You're coming in contact with the bad guys. The bad guys are then fed down into your immune system, where that dendritic cell, that big octopus looking thing that's right there, binds it and feeds it to our immune system, those lymphocytes. Well, when we come overrun with endotoxins, right, that immune system is just it's just firing and firing and firing, and it just can't catch up. That immune activation causes a breakdown in the gut barrier. So that nice gut barrier that you have all of a sudden looks like this.
Well, here's the cool thing, everybody. I want you guys to look at the very bottom of the screen where it says immune activation. Immune activation, a lot of people just think it has to do with like your immunity getting sick and a cold and a flu. But I want to point you guys the arrow where it goes to the next immune activation. That arrow right there says increase in mast cells. Okay. Mast cells are cells in your immune system that actually make histamines. They create histamines. So, believe it or not, it's also about increasing the amount of allergic reactions in your gut. Those of you guys who think, like, oh, I didn't have this problem before, but now everything that I eat, I seem to feel like there's a reaction to, there's an allergy to. Well, there's actually a mechanism with which, when the bacteria in your gut, which is the left upper corner here in the orange, when that bacterial mix between the good and bad bacteria, when the ratios between them, when the balance between them changes, it immediately goes downstream into this bloodstream and it activates these cells like the mast cell. Many of these other cells, natural killer cells, there's a lot of cells, different cells in your immune system. It's like armies, different armies. Think about it as Air Force, think about it as the Navy, think about it as the Army gets activated. And some of these will go and activate and make a ton more allergies, allergic reactions. Some of these will activate what we call inflammatory pathways, causing pain. Pain. How many of you have chronic pain? How many of you have autoimmune diseases that are associated with pain? How many of you have neuropathy? Type in chat if you're dealing with chronic pain. Well, the gut bacteria immediately, scientifically, actually has mechanisms to activate these cells in your immune system, and they actually go and produce pro-inflammatory pain pathways. And finally, number three, some people are talking about cancer here. And I'm going to tell you right now, immediately with cancer, there are actually pathways where these immune cells, once activated, will trigger cells down a pro-cancer pathway. They even show now that a specific type of bacteria can actually infect, once the mucus lining layer is disrupted, that one particular type of bacteria will trigger an immune activation. That's one of the underlying root causes of colon cancer. That's how specific the research is becoming and the science behind this. Infections, disruptions in the gut bacteria, the balance between the good and bad bacteria in your gut will trigger all these pathways downstream and is in fact responsible for all these symptoms and that diagnosis that you're talking about. Is that ringing a bell? And if that's ringing a bell, type in chat that it's ringing a bell. Hi, and thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in actively looking for a solution to your problem and you'd like to work with us, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and click the link in the description to book a chat with our team. What that's going to do is it's going to bring you to a calendar, pick a time that's going to suit your needs best. It's going to be about a 15-minute phone call. After you book that call, there's going to be a link to a short questionnaire, and that's really important for you to fill out because it's for us to get to know you better and helps us to better prepare to make the most of our time together. After you fill out the short application, it's going to take you to a page where there's a couple resources. What I want you to do is go ahead and click 2 of those and watch those. 2 trainings. They're going to really best prepare you for your phone call with us to make the best use of our time together. I and my team look forward to talking to you to learn more about you, to see if we are indeed a good fit to work together. Thank you.